Hey everyone, my name's Walter, and we're back here with more posts by our resident scientist without a degree in science, Lucas Werner. Today is Thanksgiving, and it's also Lucas's 46th birthday, so I thought it was only appropriate. Lucas has been in political mode, which is probably his least entertaining angle in general, but I'm sure we can find some crazy shit to read. Let's get started with Happy Birthday Lucas Werner. My birthday is on Thanksgiving this year. If you'd like to get me a gift, honestly, money would be the best gift for my 46th, so I can collect some, and maybe have a nice meal on Friday evening, thanks to your generosity and care. Thank you, in advance, and have yourself a great holiday time off, celebrating when a bunch of Americans fed undocumented immigrants for free. And I guess you can celebrate that by feeding Lucas for free, which the taxpayers are already doing. 84% of New York City Gen Z women voted for Mom Donnie. They aren't going to date conservative guys. You're kidding yourselves. I feel like Mom Donnie is going to be his new Bernie Sanders, except it'll be about social class instead of age. Let's say the intelligence at the level of star travel from Proxima is silicon-based, and some form other than our kingdoms of life, like they look like trains. Perhaps their oxygen level is 30% and would ignite the carbon in our bodies immediately, so we'd have to send a hologram of us, smelt some iron into steel to make a little flying bead that makes us tactile. So at that, we could have sex with aliens, because we'd feel back on Earth in the holopad what the hologram of us would feel on Proxima Centauri b. I think he was doing this in the last video too, sitting around and thinking about how we could have sex with aliens that he invented. But I feel like any plan that involves breaking the speed of light is probably not a great plan. Under capitalism, money buys love. It's an obscene reduction of human value. Yeah, says the guy who I made a whole video about offering a $100 steak to go on a date with him. The guy who showed off his stimulus check like it was his pocket money, and then probably got robbed after his young male friends got him drunk. If you can't afford a mansion, you're not a capitalist. I'd rather live in a centrally planned economy where rent doesn't exist, that pays you to stay healthy and educated any way you like, than a market state where there's a fucking trillionaire and anyone works 2 jobs and needs food assistance in order to survive. In other words, pay people more and eliminate billionairehood and trillionairehood in order to fund a better world. The amount of all caps here is really reminding me of Chris Chan. And yeah, I'd imagine a lot of people wish they didn't have to pay rent right now. The prices are crazy. What would you do if you had money, Lucas? I'd give back to the homeless shelters that helped me, and I'd feed homeless people and walk around giving away money to strangers in worse positions than I'm in. Does anyone remember the time he was trying to raise $1 billion in donations, and he was going to pocket half of it and give the rest to the homeless people of Spokane by handing them cards with 6-figure sums on them? His plans make 0 sense. These street interviews Gen Z people do are telling. Apparently, a lot of Gen Z men are dicks because they have nothing else to offer but sex. You usually see women blast on short guys and men without money. Man, this generation needs help. I have an idea. Pay people more money. Lucas presumably spends a lot of time watching Gen Z street interviews, for research purposes, of course. I don't see women arguing with me, just douchebag guys. Hot chicks in your beds, and you waste time playing video games instead of with her. Some girls like to play video games with their partners. Some chicks can, but it's like saying some chicks like to argue with political opinions, when most of the time I just want to relax and enjoy their company. But I'm glad there are some girl gamers. What the fuck point is he even trying to make? Online dating is dead. The apps are clogged with insufferable people and cowards. A lot of people will acknowledge this fact. Cowards, he says? Why would anyone be scared of Lucas? He's only the guy who wrote this horrifying note for a bartender. Dear bartender, you're awesome. Thank you for listening. Every day I want to die without someone as gorgeous as you in my life. Gratefully, Lucas Werner. There's this chemical in my body, telomerase. All men past 35 automatically become ideal fathers and husbands. It lends offspring stronger DNA. It's been a year since I've had sex. Why do I feel this need to be inside you? He is classified as a horror cow for a reason. And I think it's now been 13 years for him, without any progress. People who support capitalism always tell you to form your own multi-million or multi-billion-dollar business and have neither. Not to mention the fact that laziness has nothing to do with not having the skills to do such. Not only that, not everyone can be rich, so because of that, capitalism necessitates poverty when people are too ethical to get rich on the exploits of others. Hurt people or hurt yourself is the only paradigm under capitalism. It's like how he tries to convince us that he doesn't drive because it hurts the environment. Okay, the only reason Lucas hasn't gotten a multi-million-dollar business up and running is because he doesn't want to hurt other people. Some women want equality. Some women want to depend financially on a man. It sounds like a contradiction if they're the same woman. Not having sex with those you disagree with politically is the least you can do. I still don't feel like it's very good leftist rhetoric to go around telling women who they should be having sex with. Being an old, jobless, fat communist really attracts the ladies, doesn't it? Would you turn down a capitalist woman if she was gorgeous, young, paid for dinners, and provided a life for you where you don't have to ever work? I would. It sounds fucking horrible, to be honest. I've done just that very thing, and it doesn't work. She was older, though. I can't see how you couldn't seduce a woman with sushi dinners and your massive bankroll. He is just surrounded by trolls. No one here is probably a real person. There's a comet from another solar system. It's the third interstellar comet found. It's called 3I/Atlas. I means interstellar. The next clear night here is Monday, November 24th. I'm going to be able to view it with my new telescope in the Virgo constellation. I think the Virgo constellation is pretty appropriate for the Wern. Okay, he babbles on about this comet forever, but let's look at a little of it. I do not think the comet itself is an alien spaceship. I think the comet originates from a star, where a star nearby is in the same constellation, may have life that breathes CO2, or possibly carbon monoxide, CO, which is the same gas as from a car exhaust pipe, and cigarette smoke. Maybe life in the universe isn't plant, animal, fungus, or bacteria, like life here, because we use water as a solvent. Maybe life can also use liquid carbon dioxide, or liquid carbon monoxide as a solvent, rather than water. Now I know he's only inventing aliens so he can come up with ways to have sex with them, but liquid carbon dioxide needs not only 5 atmospheres of pressure to exist, but also a surprisingly specific temperature. I kind of doubt any planet's going to keep its temperature between 70 and 88 degrees Fahrenheit uniformly. If 1% of 1% of 1% of the planets in our galaxy have life that understands at least calculus, that's over 32,000 species that we could communicate with on a mathematical level enough to understand spaceships. Maybe every intelligent species in the galaxy communicates differently. Maybe the predominant way to pass information is electrogustatory. We'd need to build a tastoscope to taste their messages. There's got to be a species in the universe so advanced it prevents us from contacting others out there, for very pragmatic reasons. We're pretty warlike. We don't have a working way of bending the universe around a ship to travel without acceleration. Many Americans still think chocolate milk comes from brown cows. We're an amusement at best. Perhaps we're in a zoo. I have no idea why he's so obsessed with aliens right now. It's funny how many women call themselves Christians while refusing to date broke men. Admit it, you know nothing of Jesus. The capitalist propaganda doesn't work on me. I don't watch TV. I don't give money to billionaires. Yeah, he's so unique in not watching TV. Like he's not making money for a billionaire every time he posts on Facebook. It's always these white guys with a room temperature IQ and a deer rifle, making the stupidest remarks about everything. He's probably just complaining about the people who are mocking him on his own page. Classism is bigotry. I know I can afford a date a month. Beyond that, it's not supposed to be the money that wins over honeys. I'll call you a bigot where I see it. He really thinks he should be commended for offering the most he can, but if you want any more than that, you're a bigot. And it's almost impossible not to have more money than Lucas at this point, even for other people on SSI. I've been called an incel and a feminist in nearly the same breath. It's no wonder a bunch of retards think I'm retarded. Or maybe it's because you're trying to figure out how to have sex with aliens that look like trains. This actually makes sense for Lucas though, because he's clearly an incel fronting as a feminist. Hear me out. Let's take all the money and blank it out of the computers and make cash on hand prohibited from use. You can keep it as a collector's item for your own personal toilet paper or sentiment. Nobody would work except scientists and artists who'd do science and art for free. Imagine how fast civilization would grow if everything was on gift to pursue things like scientific shit like Mars, which everyone wants to get to with or without a science degree. This is what Elon Musk has done to people. We don't have anywhere near the technology to colonize Mars, let alone Proxima Centauri b, which we can really only guess on. We do know that it has 11-day years, which would definitely not be good for our planet. Even if you have an acre with a private property sign, that's still personal, not private property. What you're looking at is marketing in order to sell more private property signs. Man, what? Describe the amount of money needed to have a girlfriend. I don't think much if he cooks for her. Yeah, just make her a T-bone steak in the toaster oven at the homeless shelter. That sure seemed to work. I don't think size matters, because lesbians exist, and they don't need anything bigger than the female apparatus. Just in case anyone forgot about the Wern's dick size, here he is posting about it again on his social media. Imagine being his dad and seeing his posts. This predictably leads to him suggesting fisting, as usual. For my birthday this year, I want a hot girlfriend who is the embodiment of kindness. I have no idea how it seems reasonable for a middle-aged man to ask for a girlfriend for his birthday. That's not really a thing. I'd probably have a girlfriend if I had $100 in my pocket, but I spend that on other shit because that is factually what I have to work with every month after bills. Because I'm disabled, and this whole fucking system is ableist as fuck. Not to mention a classist underfuck of bullshit. Someone mentioned this recently on Kiwi Farms, I think, but every time Lucas actually has $100 in his pocket, he takes a male friend out to eat instead. It's bizarre. Here's what he did on Halloween. So me and the homie got a little brekkie and lunch. Brekkie just reminds me of Patrick Tomlinson saying prezzies. Not a great thing to remind me of. My favorite food is sushi, and I only pay $50 a round for 2 rolls, drink, plus tipping them 20%. Sometimes I get a beer and pay slightly more. I brought 2 friends once and paid $150. Good times. I kind of feel like $150 is a lot of money to spend taking your friends out to eat, especially considering Lucas's income. People gripe about the automation of society, but you want to be free to follow your passions? If the robots do the hard work, that kind of frees you up to follow your passions, doesn't it? It's just going to spurn people to seek a universal basic income, full healthcare and education, clean energy, improved roads, etc., which is what you want. Lucas, the guy who thinks it's irresponsible to drive cars if you could be taking the bus, is fully on board with AI. If the billionaires ever do actually subjugate us, I feel like it's definitely going to involve AI. Libtard women will criticize you for not dating trans women, but turn around and not date trans guys because they're hypocrites. Good God, Lucas, the people asking if you date a trans woman are trolling. When I say no one has to date anyone, it includes you. My Gen Z daughter would love you. How old is she? Does she live in Spokane? She's actually 16 if that's okay with you. No thanks, I only want 18 to 24. Hungry people without food is going to get real bad for people who aren't hungry who have food. People are going to want to eat. Maybe they'll revert to cannibalism. Maybe they'll eat you. End the shutdown. I have to say it's pretty on brand for Lucas to think people would resort to cannibalism after a few days without food stamps. I'd only have kids if I won the lottery or some shit. Raising kids is expensive, and I wouldn't want them to have a lackluster life. Just a girlfriend for now would be nice. I envision an equal partnership, a team. Someone asked me about the lack of telomere posts in the last video, and yeah, he seems to have given up on his father angle. End of an era. I'm sure it'll be back though. Forget the pineapple on pizza debate. I'd rather have fried eggs on a pizza than chicken. Runny eggs. Wow, a pineapple on pizza post in the year of our Lord 2025. I bet Gen Z got a big laugh out of that one. And how about one final, extremely hypocritical post about AI data centers? If AI upsets you because data centers use energy and cause pollution, then delete your apps, ditch your phone, and go off-grid, because every app uses power. Be consistent. Live like a hermit if you truly want zero pollution. Every time Lucas complains about cars, you could just be like, ditch your phone and go off-grid like a hermit then, otherwise you don't really care. I don't know how he doesn't see the hypocrisy. Anyway, it's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about the Werner, his rantings, or my content in general, let me hear it in the comments. I'll be reading them while the video's new. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more of the same. And finally, big thanks to my awesome patrons who help by supporting me more directly over on Patreon. They really help me bribe women with $100 steaks. Yeah, not really. This is video number 8 this month, so hopefully I'll be back soon with more Reddit posts. Have a great day, everyone, and if you're an alien life form, you might want to avoid Lucas like human women do.